It is Saturday, January 3rd, 2026, and the geopolitical landscape of the Caribbean has just been permanently altered. In the early hours of this morning, the world woke up to the news that the United States has successfully carried out Operation Southern Spear, a high-stakes, multi-pronged military operation that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores. As we speak, reports are flooding in from Caracas of a total power blackout in the southern parts of the city and massive fires burning at the La Guaira seaport. President Trump confirmed the capture in a 4:30 a.m. Truth Social post, stating that the operation was carried out in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. According to officials, the capture wasn't just a result of a massive air and sea blockade. It was a surgical snatch-and-grab mission led by the U.S. Army's elite Delta Force. The details emerging are chilling. Under the cover of darkness and a total communications jam, U.S. Special Forces utilized low-flying stealth aircraft to bypass Venezuela's S-300 air defense systems. Simultaneously, heavy strikes were launched on the Fuerte Tiuna military complex and the La Carlota air base to pin down Maduro's loyalist forces. However, the X factor in this operation appears to have been a betrayal from within. Intelligence suggests that members of Maduro's own inner circle, some of whom had been secretly recruited by U.S. operatives over the last several months, provided the exact GPS coordinates of his reinforced bunker and ensured that his elite presidential guard stood down at the critical moment. Maduro and Flores were reportedly hustled onto a U.S. military transport aircraft within minutes of the breach. Their current location is confirmed to be a secure federal facility on U.S. soil, where they are being held in the custody of the Department of Justice to face long-standing narco-terrorism and drug trafficking charges in the Southern District of New York. Now, while the world focuses on the chaos in Caracas, we need to ask the question that matters to every Jamaican. What does the fall of the Maduro regime mean for us? First, let's kill a major rumor right now, the Petro-Caribe debt. For years, people have worried that Jamaica was still beholden to Venezuela for oil. The reality is that the deal has been essentially dead for the better part of a decade. Jamaica was proactive. We executed massive debt buybacks in 2015 and again in 2019, clearing billions of dollars in liabilities at a deep discount. As of January 2026, Jamaica does not need a single thing from the Venezuelan government. We have diversified our energy sources, and our days of subsidized oil dependency are long gone. However, just because we don't owe them money doesn't mean we are safe from the fallout. Jamaica is currently in a fragile recovery phase. It has only been 3 months since Hurricane Melissa battered our shores in October 2025, causing a 4.3% dip in our projected GDP. Our infrastructure is still being repaired, and our national budget is stretched thin. The capture of Maduro has sent global oil markets into a tailspin this morning. Even though we don't buy Venezuelan oil directly, the instability in the Caribbean shipping lanes means that insurance rates for tankers are going to skyrocket. When insurance goes up, the price at the gas pump in Kingston and Mobay follows. We could be looking at a significant energy shock, just as we were trying to get back on our feet. Furthermore, there is the question of regional security. With the Venezuelan state in a state of emergency and the Bolivarian militia, which Maduro claimed had over 4 million members, now leaderless and armed, the risk of a massive refugee crisis is real. If the situation in Venezuela devolves into a prolonged civil war between the Cartel of the Suns and U.S.-backed forces, we could see a wave of migration and a surge in illicit maritime activity that will test the Jamaican Coast Guard like never before. The Jamaican government, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Foreign Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, is currently walking a diplomatic tightrope. We rely heavily on the U.S. for tourism and trade, but we also value the CARICOM principle of non-interference. Expect a very carefully worded statement from Jamaica House today, one that calls for peace and a democratic transition while quietly preparing our borders for the splash zone of this invasion. The capture of Nicolás Maduro is a black swan event that marks the end of the Chavismo era and the beginning of a high-stakes transition for the entire Western Hemisphere. For Jamaica, it is a reminder that in 2026, global events can land on our doorstep in a matter of hours. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Was the US right to take out a sitting head of state on our doorstep? Are you worried that the Operation Southern Spear fallout will make the cost of living in Jamaica even higher? Or do you see this as the reset the Caribbean needs to finally find stability? Drop a comment if you're following this story closely. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into the news affecting Jamaica and the diaspora, and hit that notification bell. Walk good and stay informed. Click the link on screen now to watch another Jamaican content. Catch you in the next video.